friends, and welcome to day 15 of 30 inks in 30 days. We are halfway there. Today's ink is V2 Rocket, an interesting clear ink, and I have put it in my Pineider avatar because I thought it might look cool to see it in the medium cursive italic nib. As with many things in the history of technology, and in this instance the space race and the space program in the US, there are some complicated moments that are uncomfortable, and I feel that for my part the V2 rockets are a good example of this. So the V2s were developed in Germany during the Second World War by Wernher von Braun, a Nazi scientist, and they were labeled vengeance weapons for attacking Allied cities in response for their attacks and bombings against German cities. And at the end of the war, after a race to capture manufacturing facilities, missile technology, and launching sites, Wernher von Braun and over 100 essential V2 personnel surrendered to the Americans, and many of the original team ended up working at the Redstone Arsenal in, I believe, was that Arizona? And the US captured enough V2 hardware to build about 80 of these missiles. And the V2 became the first man-made object to travel into space on June 20th, 1944. And of course, this is an incredibly truncated and incredibly oversimplified account that I just gave. Von Braun was a part of the Nazi Party, and he stated that it was simply so that he could continue his research and his work, so that he didn't lose everything that he had been doing, and that the rockets originally weren't intended for war. And his account on whether or not he was actually committed to the Nazi beliefs. Von Braun was a Nazi, but in the United States, we remember him more as a celebrated scientist who really helped launch the US into the space race and, led to putting men into space and a man on the moon. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to think about. He knew what was happening in Germany and in the camps, but is quoted as saying he didn't think he couldn't make a difference, and that it would just put himself and his work into danger. And one of those things where obviously I am a space fan, but this is a really uncomfortable piece of that space legacy and history, and it definitely needs to be discussed and studied and all of those things, so that we don't forget where some of these advances came from. And again, very, very short, very oversimplified history, and I will include lots of links down below that will do a much better job than I could do with discussing this topic. Two quotes from von Braun. "Basic research is what I am doing when I don't know what I am doing." And "The rocket worked perfectly except for landing on the wrong planet." As to the ink, this is a very interesting orange. I don't typically write with such light colors, but this is very legible, and the shading in my cursive italic nib. I really, really love it. It's hard to get an entirely clear swatch here just because on the back of this is yesterday's sunspot, so the black kind of came through when I applied the orange, but still it looks very, very nice. Good shading, no sheen or shimmer, very readable. I will be able to write with this without a problem. And for the chromatography, there's some pink, darker orange up to yellow. Pretty neat. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 16.